Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Press Box. Brian Carson here with my co-host Kenny Varner. How you doing, Kenny?
Oh, doing okay, Brian. Kind of a crazy day, but yeah, things are going all right. How about you?
I'm going okay. You're always busy though. I'm
Yeah,
not as I'm not as busy. I have been writing some stuff for the Sentinel, non-sports, but that kept me a little busy today.
oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So, can you believe we're coming up here to week 9?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
And I mean, we're almost done, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting ready to head down that postseason trail here.
Yeah, we got some like Bald Eagle area. This week's their last game of the regular season. They only scheduled 9 games. I heard they were trying to find another one, but you know, if they can't, this is it. This is their last game this Friday.
That's crazy. That still doesn't seem real. It doesn't. It just seems like we started talking about it just last week.
You better believe it. I mean, it is nuts. But we're gonna do. We don't have a guest again tonight. We're getting to that time where the season's winding down. There's been Wednesday games, so people doing their own, busy or couldn't make it tonight. So we're gonna do riff like we usually do when we don't have a guest. We're gonna go through the football from last week and preview this week. Plus, we're gonna talk about volleyball and soccer because we got playoffs coming up, and then in 10 days, you got the District 6 cross-country championships going on out here in Reedsville in Mifflin County. So postseason's hitting. Here we go, man.
Yeah, I actually was covering a game yesterday, and I asked the coach my normal questions, and then at the end, always ask him when the next game is, and he said, "We're done now. I just got to wait to see where we're going to be at in the play."
Oh, my. Yeah, it's going too fast.
Much too fast.
All right, let's get this show on the road. Before we get to the high school stuff, I wanted to talk a little bit. We got the big game coming up Saturday. You have to bring it up. We got Penn State, ranked 7th, undefeated, against Ohio State, ranked 3rd, undefeated, out in the Horseshoe. Statistically, it should be a damn good game. We have statistically the number 2 Penn State and the number 3 Ohio State defenses in the country, scoring defenses. Everybody's talking about offenses of both teams, but you got 2 of the best defenses in college football squaring off.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a classic. I think. I think the odds are in Penn State's favor, and why I say that is, the law of averages. They seem to have our number here in the last couple of years. So Penn State's due for a big game. The defense is very solid. I know it was just UMass, but look what they had that kid flustered all game for UMass. So I just think, yes, Ohio State is very good as well, but they had a rough time with Maryland there in the first half of their game when they played. It was 17-17, I believe, going into the third quarter.
Yeah, Maryland's not that bad of a team, though. Well, you know what I mean with the Tagovailoa kid.
Right. So
at least I don't think he is.
Right. Well, it's going to be like what was the old announcer Keith Jackson? It's going to be a Jim Dandy.
You better believe it. As far as scheduling goes, Ohio State, not by much, but they have played a tougher schedule. They got a good Maryland team, and they beat Notre Dame. Penn State's played Delaware, UMass. The only team that Penn State played that was anything, and they didn't play well in that game, was Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't realize, when you look at statistics, he's not even being mentioned, but the McCord kid for Ohio State, who went to St. Joe's Prep here in PA, Kyle McCord, he's the leading passer in college football.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't know that until I read it today. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, too. This is probably Penn State's best chance to beat Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
The Ohio State sometimes, looks a little shaky. Notre Dame, though, is a really good team. But if you look, both defenses, Ohio State's in their wins, their games, give it up 7 points, 17, 14, 10, 7, and 3. Not bad, is it?
Not bad at all. Penn State.
Yeah, I'm getting to them now. Penn State is giving up none, 13, none, 13, 7, and 15. But it is UMass. Honestly, I'm sorry. It is UMass and Delaware in there.
Oh, yeah. But, like we said before, every college does that. And it also sets up for this rivalry game, and lets Penn State be a little rested at their starting positions because of having such the cupcakes to play. If there's anything positive that really comes out of that.
Here's what I think it's going to come down to. I know Aller has played well, no turnovers, but Penn State, make no bones about it, is a running game. With Allen and Singleton. If Ohio State can stop their run, I think they'll beat them. If they can't, it's going to be Penn State. What would you say about that assessment?
I think that's pretty accurate. But this could be a good chance for Alorda to stand up and show what he's made of. You know what I mean? Have that real standout game that people have been saying that he's capable of. So, yeah, I think it's going to come down to be honest with you, I think it's going to come down to a turnover from either side, or whoever has the ball last. I think it's going to be one of those every point counts kind of a game, and it'll come down to one last possession, or I just think it's going to be real close.
Now, I agree. Kenny King, the corner for Penn State's having a great year, but he hasn't had to cover a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. yet.
No, not no. And I'll tell you what, the NFL is already licking their lips for Harrison to come out in the draft here. I haven't seen him actually play, so I'm kind of anxious to see that on Saturday.
Well, here's the thing that makes him scary. He has his dad's skills, only he has something his dad didn't have. Height.
Oh, okay.
Remember, Marvin had speed in that and great hands, but he wasn't big. And Junior has that speed, that hands, and he's like 6'3".
Oh, wow.
But there's been a couple games with injuries and stuff. They haven't done a good job establishing the run, Ohio State. And I don't think against Penn State they can sit back there and be one-dimensional. I don't think either team can. And then if you look at the history, though, Franklin, you still can't get past that. 1-8 all time against the Buckeyes. 1-8.
And that came off that block punt, I believe.
Yeah.
A couple years back.
So, tell me what you think. Who's going to win? What's the score?
Okay, well, I believe Penn State's going to do it. And I think it's going to be a pretty mild scoring game. I'm going to say 30-27.
Okay, I'm gonna go. You know how I am when it's two good teams.
Mm-hmm.
I put the home as a factor. The horseshoe is going to be loud and pumped up. I'm going to give it to Ohio State. I think it's going to be a really close defensive game. I'm going to say 17-14 Buckeyes.
One of those old-fashioned
Yep.
kind of game.
Yep. In the trenches stuff. Both defenses, talk about the offenses. Aller, McCord, Marvin Harrison, Singleton, but these two defenses, scoring defenses, I don't go by total yards given up. Who gives a crap? To me, the best defense is like who doesn't give up points. And you're talking the number 2 and number 3 scoring defenses in college football.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be close. It's going to be a fight.
How odd is it, though, to have 3 Big Ten schools in the top 10? That is just unbelievable.
Here's the thing about the Big Ten this year, and I think you'll agree with me. The Big Ten actually, from top to bottom, sucks this year, but the 3 teams they got are 3 of the best in college football. Mm-hmm. Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. But the rest of that conference is not that good.
Yeah, it's like jumping off a cliff after the first 3.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the bad problem. They're all in the same side. Mm-hmm. Why do they still have the East and West, or is that over with?
Oh no, they still have that. I'm not sure how they're going to do it when like UCLA and USC come. They may even put it to 3 divisions. But right now, yeah, it's still the East and the West.
Hell, they're licking their chops to have USC come in. Look how bad USC's defense is.
Oh, what happened to Caleb Williams on Saturday?
Man, you can only do so all year long, including last year, too. They had to have their offense score 40, 50 points or they weren't going to win. You can't keep doing that. Their defense is garbage. Garbage. I, for one, couldn't be more happy. All right, let's get to our high school.
Okay.
We get our buddy here, Billy Spling, give a little promotion to them. The Pennsylvania football news. We always start with our rankings, and PAFootballnews.com. Billy Spling and his guys. New rankings are out, and we always go District 6. Here's our teams in D6 that are ranked. Number 3 in 3A, I mean. Central is number 9. AA Richland is up to number 2. United is number 10. Bald Eagle area is an honorable mention. 1A is Northern Cambria, new to it, an honorable mention. As you notice, State College is off the list because we'll talk about why. But I have to bring up before we get to our District 6, AA has a new number 1 team, Farrell, out of District 10, because, get ready for it, something that is very rare. Southern Columbia actually lost a football game.
Oh, my God. No way.
And it's to their rival, Mount Carmel. 2 good teams. They met. It was 42-30 last week, Mount Carmel. And that dropped Southern. So Farrell's the new number 1. It moved Richland up to number 2. But I don't know, it might be only like the 3rd regular season loss, I think, in like 8 years for Southern Columbia.
That's good. Wow.
It's crazy. All right, so we mentioned that. Let's get our scores from last week. We had Bishop McCourt, 33-14 over Bellefonte. Still the offense, Kenny, for Bellefonte just can't do anything.
Yeah, still can't get clicking on all cylinders, but they did score 2 touchdowns this game, so there is improvement. But just it's just one of these where you're at this far in the season, you're just trying to teach for next year. get as many kids involved as you can, and just kind of look to the future.
And then Southern Huntington Mount Union. Man, I don't know if they ran this. Like they 83-0.
Yeah, that's about that's something. It's like is Southern Huntington really that bad, or is because by halftime most of these coaches have their third string in when it's a game like this. So
Yes, they're bad.
and you don't want to have your younger kids your third and fourth string if you're running the ball. You can't have them not run. So it just makes you wonder.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I remember we were debating last week who's the worst team in District 6, Southern or Johnstown?
Mm-hmm.
I think we got our answer.
Yeah, that's pretty plain. Yep.
Wow. Penns Valley finally got back on the winning side, 35-21 over Somerset. We'll talk about them. Their big three got rolling again. And now Penns Valley, they're 7th right now in District 6, so they would make the playoffs right now, but they got a big one coming up this week. We'll talk about the upcoming games then. But nice for Penns Valley to get off the schneid.
Yeah, and the running back, it slips my mind right now.
Ty Watson, baby.
Ty Watson. Yeah, he actually became Center County, I believe, all-time. Never mind. But he did something really. He set a Center County record. Weekend
cool.
for time. I believe it's all-time scoring, or all-time yards rushing. I'll have to check on that. But he did set a Center County record this weekend. So congratulations on that. And congratulations for Penns Valley to get back onto the winning side of things, especially this late in the season where they're fighting for a playoff spot.
And then a game I'm shocked by, not that Harrisburg won, but how easy they won, 20-0, shut out State College. And that immediately puts Harrisburg right in there with Pittsburgh Central Catholic as the team that could come out of the West and get to the state finals.
Yeah, and I think what you've been saying all along about Sheffy has been correct, because I just he's not himself this year.
No. And I mean, I know Harrisburg has a good defense, but he had 18 carries, Sheffy, and only got 33 yards. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they have new linemen I didn't know about, but yeah, Sheffy, and he missed a game, but definitely not having the year he did last year as a freshman.
Right.
Then Judiata won their 5th in a row in a game I thought would be closer than it was. 33-6 over Upper Dauphin. And this time it was the running game we'll talk about that got going for the Indians.
Yeah, that was the game where Juniata had from beginning to end had the the momentum going, and their defense started the game by causing a 16-yard loss. So set the tone early. And the running game of Javier Lopez, Seth Lobb, Heath Hutchinson, they grounded it out. It looked like one of your old-time Gary Klingensmith running back, where you'd have like 3 or 4 running backs sharing like 30 yards for a game.
Yeah, line up in I waiting to see the old wing back lining up in the wing tee and just start running it. Sheps did have an 89-yard run in that game for a touchdown.
Oh my gosh, that was so that caught everybody off guard. It was 4th and long from I believe from their it was 89. So from their 11-yard line, and he faked the punt and came around the right side and just ran up the sidelines untouched the whole way. Caught everybody. Done. You could just see all the jaws dropping on Upper Dolphin side.
Awesome. And then Mifflin County, they have trouble with big physical teams. And it happened again. Angel Cabrera, the running back for Hershey, he's 6'3", 225, ran for 200 yards and I think 2 touchdowns. And they beat Mifflin County 24-14.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a comment from Ivy Warrior 1416. Yes, sir, he does, Russell. He's actually been he's a senior this year. He's been a 3-time state place winner. Last year, I believe he was 5th or 6th in the state. Very good wrestler. Just a great all-around athlete. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kenny. Mifflin County.
Oh, yeah. Mifflin County, it comes down again to Mifflin County making a playoff spot and coming down to the last game against Red Lion to do that. I know they have a game against Bishop McDevitt this week coming up, and I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if that's in the cards.
I don't think Husky fans will be mad when I say that we are going to get killed in that game. We're going to get killed.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfair. I mean,
right.
They've got, with their recruiting, they have, and we're not going to face a team like that, the rest of the year ever, except for them. They've got 14 kids that have either committed or being recruited by Division I colleges.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
And they shouldn't be. I heard Jed Donahue talking about it. They shouldn't be in 4A at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to dominate again 4A. They're going to win a state title if they stay healthy. I mean, right. It's pretty much unfair. And they need to be out of there. So, yeah, it's going to come down once again. Last game of the season, they're on the road against Redland to get a playoff berth. Because for people who don't know, the Huskies, the school policy is they have to be 500 or they don't go.
Right.
Simple as that. All right. Phillipsburg goes to Johnstown, picks up the 25-14 win. And we're going to talk about this when we preview this week. Phillipsburg is alive for a playoff spot.
Really?
They are right now top 8 go in Double A. And right now they are 10th. They're just outside. But if they keep winning and other teams lose, they have a chance, an outside chance to get in. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the year?
What a great story. Yeah, and in the last couple of years of how their seasons have turned out, going from being on the brink of not having a team. Well, in fact, they canceled just 2 years ago. They canceled their season because they didn't have enough players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great story to see them bust in the top 8 and make a playoff.
Absolutely. And then also in Johnstown, the Eagles shook off their upset loss to Clearfield. Maybe upset, who knows? But their loss to Clearfield and won 59-30 over Johnstown. The good thing about that is Bald Eagles, Jesse Nagel, the head coach, got a chance to have a lot of younger guys play in that game. Because, when the starters were in, they could score at will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's good, too, coming down this time of the year because, some of these younger kids are one injury from seeing some real action, and the more experience they get throughout the season, the better. And having a game like that against Johnstown is definitely good moving on.
Absolutely. So that was last week. Let's preview what's coming up this week. State College in the Mid-Penn Commonwealth trying to shake off that loss to Harrisburg. They're 5-2. They travel to Cumberland Valley. Cumberland Valley's won 3 in a row. They started 1-4, and they've been on a roll. Last week, as we said, Dante Sheffy was held in check again, and this time they held Corkery in the passing game too. State College last week against Harrisburg had only 147 total yards and only 39 on the ground.
Wow, that is so on State College like, definitely.
Right. And the Eagles are fresh off a 30-8 walloping of Carlisle. And as I said, they've won 3 straight. So Mid-Penn Commonwealth game, State College on the road. What do you think, Kenny?
Well, I think State College is going to be pretty ticked off over their loss against Harrisburg. Having 2 losses now, I think they'll be coming back for vengeance and looking for, to help their spot in the postseason. I'd look for State College just to dominate and win 35-7.
I'm giving Cumberland Valley a little bit more points, but I agree with you on all levels. I've got it. State College is going to win 35-14. Next up, 4-4 Mifflin County against Bishop McDevitt, 8-0, ranked number 1 in the state in 4A, the defending state champions. And I got some stats here for you, if you don't mind, Kenny.
Okay, sure.
Stone Saunders, their quarterback, the best quarterback in Pennsylvania, but he's only a junior. He's already committed to Kentucky. With him as a starter, he started since he's a freshman. McDevitt is 33-3. They lost in the state finals his freshman year, won it last year. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Saunders, for a career, has completed 68% of his passes, which is amazingly good. He's 462 of 683. He has passed for 8,712 yards. Remember, he's got another year.
Uh-huh.
And the record, I think, is like 11,200 and something in Pennsylvania. And here's something that just blows my mind. 134 touchdowns for a career and only 11 interceptions.
Wow.
Yeah. This year he's thrown for 2,092 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 1 pick. That's it.
And to go along with that, he has one of the most football type names you're ever going to see.
Stone. Yep.
Yeah.
Saunders. And then Rico Scott is going to Alabama. 44 catches for high school. In 8 games, 44 catches, 794 yards, 13 touchdowns.
Wow.
His other receiver, Chase Reagan, who's getting Division I looks, 29 catches, 726 yards, 12 touchdowns.
Man.
They're outscoring their opponents 47-14. All that is to say is the Huskies, they fight. They're tough kids, Deacon Schaefer and those guys, but this one's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Right now, like if you look at last week, those big physical teams, and this is going to be probably the biggest, most physical team they face. Last week, Mifflin County, buddy, against Hershey, had only 70 yards rushing on the day. And I mean, I think they held like Deacon Schaefer to 54. The cool stuff in all this, there is some things to monitor in this game, though. Schaefer has 991 yards. He needs 9 yards to be the first back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher in Mifflin County high school history. And he's only 58 yards away from becoming the career rushing leader in Mifflin County school history. He's already the all-time touchdown leader with 28. Yeah, it's no matter what, nobody can keep up with this team.
No.
It's the only thing I'm hoping for is that everybody can come out of this game for Redland without being hurt.
Yeah, that's what you kind of really want to wish for is, you know, if you can't get a win, you know, the health will, you know, be important.
My prediction, 51-7, McDevitt.
I'm going to say 41-14, McDevitt.
Okay. Sorry, Husky fans, but
yeah, I don't like going against the Huskies, but you know,
reality hits. Next up, in a big battle of the Mid-Penn Liberty, this will decide it. Juniata 5-3 travels to Herndon to take on Lime Mountain 6-2. They are both 4-0 in the Mid-Penn Liberty, so whoever wins this is going to be the Liberty champion, Mid-Penn Liberty champion. I got a couple things I think you'll find cool about Juniata. They've won 5 in a row. Their 3 losses. Remember we said how tough their opening games were. They lost 3 straight. Here's where these teams are right now that they played. Troy is 8-0 and ranked 5th in the state in AA. Selinsgrove is 7-0-1 and ranked 5th in the state in 4A.
Wow.
And West Perry is 8-0 and ranked 6th in the state in AAA. So right now, their 3 losses are to teams that are 23-0-1. That's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
And now they got a little bit. Well, this one isn't going to be easy. Lime Mountain's good. Their only losses were to Danville, who's state ranked, and Tri-Valley. And so there are no slouches either at 6-2. Give me some of your thoughts on this game.
Well, I think Juniata is coming into this game where they need to be. They've been really starting to peak, and this is where you want to be with a team at this point of the season, playing your best football. And I believe that, again, like I said last week, I think those first 3 games, the experience these kids got will carry over again into the Lime Mountain game. This is not going to be one of those easy games like Upper Dolphin turned out to be. It's going to be, total 4 quarters of football. And I'm going to say it's going to be Juniata 30 and Lime Mountain 28.
All right, I have. It's going to be a passing game. I know. Well, Juniata established a run. They had 265 yards rushing against Upper Dolphin. That's their best rushing game of the season. But make no mistake, they've been all year with Wyatt Ehrenzeller and Shep. They're a passing team. So is Lime Mountain. Last week, Lime Mountain beat James Buchanan 56-20, and their quarterback, Caden Maurer, was 10 of 12 for 176 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're going to go into the air, both of them. I think it's going to be close, too, but I'm with you. I'm going to give it to Juniata 28-24.
Should be a dandy.
Yeah, I think so. Who are you covering, by the way?
I am actually, most of my teams are away this week, so my wife and I are finally going to get our anniversary dinner. We're going to
that's good.
Celebrating our 11th year of marriage.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Family comes first, man.
Mhm.
All right. Should be another excellent game. Penn Valley 5-3 travels to Tyrone 5-3, and the Rams got back in the winning side, and they must keep winning. They are 7th right now in District 6. Top 8 go.
Mm.
Oh, before I wanted to mention these playoff scenarios, Juniata has already probably won 4A without playing a game in District 6.
Mhm.
Because Johnstown and Bellefonte are both 0-8, and they might not even go in the playoffs. If they don't, Juniata, just like last year, will be awarded the champion,
Mhm.
and they'll face Meadville like they did last year. If you remember that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Meadville 6-2, and yes, they run the football. Just like last year, Simmons might be gone, but I saw their team. They have 3-4 guys like they alternate and run.
Mm.
So back to Penn Valley Tyrone, both 5-3, both fighting for playoff spots. Penn Valley last week, the big three had their day. Watson's been doing it all year, but Romig's been down for a little bit. But last Friday, he was 17 of 22, 223 yards and a touchdown. Watson got 119 and 2 touchdowns, so he's got over 1,000 again for the season. Another 1,000-yard season. And John Meyer, 9 catches, 126 yards. So they're back. Tyrone beat Central Cambria 35-12. And they're basically, their two guys are Ashton Walk, their quarterback, and Brady Ronan, their running back. Ronan had 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's tough to win in Tyrone, even though they're not what they used to be. So Penn Valley's going to have their hands full, buddy.
Oh, most definitely. And Tyrone's kind of been a very quiet team this year. You haven't, in other years they're either, you hear about them quite often, but this year it's like they've kind of snuck up on teams. And I believe this is going to be, at Tyrone, it's going to be rough for Penns Valley. Penns Valley would have to go out quick and get up on Tyrone if they want success in taking a victory.
I agree with you in the respect of Tyrone being quiet. It's really weird. They'll have games where they look like the old Tyrone, and then they'll have games where they look like crap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what. And this year it's been off and on like that, hot and cold. I agree. Penns Valley got their hands full. It's tough to win in Tyrone. Tyrone's quietly 5-3. I think this one's going to come down. This game is going to come down to turnovers, and I'm going to give it to the Golden Eagles because they're at home. I'm going to say 35-28 Tyrone.
Yeah, when you're talking about Tyrone, the best literary figure you could think of is Jekyll Hyde. And it depends on which Tyrone team shows up. I believe Penns Valley's out of their funk now. But I think that the Eagles are going to be a little bit more favored because of playing, like you said, at Tyrone. So I'm going to say 34-27 Tyrone.
All right. Next up, Bald Eagle area 7-1 takes on Beltwood Annis 8-1. And like I said at the beginning of the show, if they don't get a game, this is going to be their last regular season game. The Eagles last week against Johnstown, which we knew it was all over, running and passing. Nagel 315 yards, 4 touchdowns. The quarterback. Dubs had 128 yards and 3 touchdowns in the backfield. And Cale Burns had 9 catches, 125 yards. They are number 3 in District 6 AA. So 950 point. Their playoff spot is set. They're only behind Richland and United, who are both undefeated in District 6 AA. So this one, Bellwood Ennis, they lost 30-18 to Pencambria. Really not much to say. This is going to be all Eagles. All Eagles. And I'm going to say 45-10.
Well, this is, to me, one of these games that, as a coach, you gotta kind of watch out for. Not that there's going to be any kind of upset in the making, but you need to get out quick, get your kids, your starters benched, so that they can rest and not risk injury. This could be one of those nights where going into the playoffs, your younger kids in, have them get their playing time, which is going to help, like we said earlier, and rest your players and go into the playoffs with a healthy team. So I'm going to say Bald Eagle's going to beat up on Bellwood Ennis 53-0.
All right. Next up, Claysburg Kimball 3-5 travels to the Mount Union Trojans, having a great year at 7-1. And I got a stat for you, buddy.
Okay.
We were talking about Mount Union and the 83-0 over Southern, right?
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever seen this happen in a football game, my friend. Okay? Mount Union did not attempt a pass in the game.
Wow.
Because they ran for over 300 yards. They did not throw one pass against Southern.
Well, that's your answer right there. It looks like it was the Southern Huntington defense.
Right.
Wow.
And they have, here's some stat numbers that'll blow your mind. Danish, the quarterback, 6 carries, only 6, 140 yards, 4 touchdowns. He averaged 23.3 yards a carry. Josh Ryan, only 7 carries, 131 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaged 18.7 a carry. And Nasir Collins, the freshman, 6 carries, 95 yards, 2 scores. He averaged 15.8 a carry. Mount Union is number 4 in District 6 AA, right behind Bald Eagle area. So their playoff spot is pretty secure. They take on Claysburg 48-20. They lost to Mo Valley. And they're in trouble facing Mount Union anyway. But Mason Campagna, their leading passer and rusher, is out. So, yeah, this is going to be another, not going to be 83-0, but this has Mount Union blowout written all over it.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Not a pass, buddy.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of that?
I've never heard of that. Not since the 1800s, anyway.
Right. So, yeah, this is going to be a blowout. I'm going to say 48-6 Mount Union.
Wow. And if I'm correct, I think Mount Union beat up on Mo Valley early in the season.
Oh, yeah, Mount Union crushed Mo Valley.
Yeah, so it's like you said, it's not going to be 83-0, but I'm going to say 54-7. Mount Union.
All right, next up, the Mounties, as we said, fighting for a playoff berth. 3-5, taking on Bishop Guilfoyle, 4-4. A down year for Bishop Guilfoyle. This is a team that I believe has won 5 state championships in football. A down year for them, 4-4, but they're still tough, and they're at home. And the Mounties right now, as I said, are in 10th in District 6, AA. BG is 8th. So Guilfoyle has the last playoff spot. So I don't need to tell you how big it would be if the Mounties could pull off the upset. Last week, against Westmont, it was the running, and that's what Phillipsburg does. They don't pass much. They had 300 yards rushing. Jacody Jones, 119 and a score. Colton Chapman, 89 and a score. Sam McDonald, 86 and a touchdown. Not bad season Phillipsburg's having, but Guilfoyle has played some tough teams. Last week they lost 50-43 to Chestnut Ridge, and Ridge is state ranked and has only one loss. Their guy, Chase Kissel, their quarterback from Guilfoyle, 20 of 33, 301 yards last week. And Caden Wyatt, their running back, 171 yards, buddy, and 6 touchdowns.
Jeez.
Yeah. Mounties have put up a great season. I mean, for them, the way they've been in the past year fighting for the playoff, but going on the road, I think Guilfoyle is going to be too much for them. I'm going to say 31-14 Guilfoyle.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same feeling as you. Like you said before, playing at Bishop Guilfoyle and them having such a legendary program and just coming off that tough loss, Bishop Guilfoyle is going to rebound sharply. Phillipsburg's been a great story, and they still have a lot to play for. The future's bright for those kids, but just not on Friday. I'm going to say Bishop Guilfoyle 28 and PO 14.
All right, and finally, 0-8 Bellefonte travels to 1-7 Huntington. Really not much to say here, buddy. Bellefonte, we've said it all year long, is the offense. They're only averaging 9 points a game. They would have done worse if they wouldn't have put the Liam, I forgot his name. Oh, my. The quarterback. Yeah. If they wouldn't have put him in, it would have been even worse. Huntington, just as bad. They lost last week 23-7 to Forest Hills, who's a decent team. But this year, oh, my Lord. It's going to be, where's the offense? Because I think Huntington is only averaging like 13 a game. So, being that it's home and Bellefonte's offense is really, I'm going to take Huntington in this. I'm going to say 20-13.
Okay. You know how Mike Greenberg has his KOD, the kiss of death, where he jinxed one team, and
yeah.
Well, I think this year I've been the Bellefonte's kiss of death. I've put them to win every game. I hate to do it again, but I'm going to. I think Bellefonte can easily win this game. Huntington, started Penns Valley or Phillipsburg's winning streak or winning ways, and I think Bellefonte's going to follow and get their first win, and it's going to be 21-20.
Ooh, you're going for the belt? Well, you live there, so you have to, or you'll be dead. No, I'm just kidding. All right, that's good. That does it for high school football for this time. Now we're going to switch our focus over to, we got playoffs coming everywhere next week.
Oh, yeah.
Is volleyball and boys and girls soccer are kicking off. And then in 10 days, it's the District 6 cross-country championships. Where do you want to start? You want to start out with volleyball first?
Yeah, let's do the volleyball.
All right. You cover these teams, I don't, so I'm relying on you, man.
Okay.
For opinion. We'll start out AA. Phillipsburg Osceola, the number 1 seed in 2A. They are 17-0. Juniata's the 8th seed at 16-6. Penns Valley's 9th at 12-6. Mount Union's way back at 14th at 9-9. So just give me the rundown on what you think off the top of your head of PO, and have you covered Juniata at all?
Yes, actually on both. Phillipsburg is incredible. They have, I can't remember her name, but it's been a while since I covered him, but I think her name's Reese. Gosh, but she
All
is,
right.
yeah, Phillipsburg is led by their oh boy. Let me start this one over. Do a retake. You gotta love live podcasts, huh?
Yeah.
We'll start with Juniata. Juniata is having a record season for most wins. They are led by Lexi France, who's set some records or set some milestones this year in the kill department. I look for them to make some waves. You know, the Mounties, back to the Mounties, they're going to be the favorites.
Yeah, unbeaten, you bet.
But they have a lot of good players, to go off their leading player here, and I'm trying to.
It's all right. What have you seen Penns Valley at all?
Penns Valley, they are having a pretty good year as well. Okay, yes, I was right. Back to Phillipsburg. Her name was Reese Hazelton. She is unbelievable. She's their person, very, very tall, very agile, and can play a server role or play up front.
Could she spike on? Could she spike on me, Kenny?
Oh yeah, she can spike without even jumping. You know, she's that tall. So, yeah, very, very. She's one of those once in a lifetime players. You know that you get on a team. She's definitely going to move on to the next level. Back to Penns Valley. Penns Valley has a stable of good players. They're having, believe they're 14-6 on the year. Was that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if these are updated, but it had on the District 6 site that Penns Valley was 12-6.
Okay. Yeah, 12-6. Some of their Ella Hardley and Mariah Hurd are their kills leader. Assisting leader for them is Ella Aston and Maddie Butler and Kendall Geiswaiter are really top players as well. So, in fact, Phillipsburg just played Penns Valley, and just to say how tough Phillipsburg is, they beat them in 3 straight sets.
Ouch.
So 25-19, 25-13, and 25-16. So pretty convincingly. Okay.
All right, let's move to AAA. Bald Eagle area, the 2nd seed. They are 16-2, and I know about them. It's most people don't know this, but you know, Kenny, I don't even know if you know this. There was like 3 or 4 years in a row where I covered state volleyball championships for Altoona. The Altoona Mirror, going down to Cumberland Valley, their school.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure. Have you been down there, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I made sure I went to that. I can't remember the name now. There's a diner right up the road from the school.
Okay.
A great diner if you've ever been there.
Never been at that.
If you've never been, you should go. Okay, that's neither here nor there. But Bald Eagle 16-2. They're the second seed. Hollidaysburg is the top seed. But
Mhm.
you know, Belfont, I don't know. They're third seed, but they're 6-11. So tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about Bald Eagle. Always good. They have a tradition in this.
Yeah. Actually, last year they switched coaches. Larry Campbell's no longer their coach. They moved to Zach Rote. So last year they weren't quite the dominating team that they were used to, but they've bounced back this year in big ways, and uh, they've been making things look easy. Um, they have a very solid teams. They have Gabby Perry, who's pretty tough. Their server, their leading server, I believe is her last name is Booney. Very Olivia Booney, I believe, and she's a tough out. She's their kill. She reached a milestone in kills this year, so it's looking like Bald Eagle will go up against Belfont in the first round, from what their coach said, if Belfont actually qualifies.
Okay.
It's those things where they'll find out from the athletic director, if they're
Yeah.
going to be able to play or not. So, um, but that's where they stand right now.
Okay. 4A. Something I didn't expect to even say. The number one seed, Mifflin County, 11-4. School record for wins. Dakota Hirschberger.
Mhm.
Hirschberger, I know it has to be a school record, even though nobody's told me. She has over 800 kills in her career. Riley Hine, Grace Paez, Davoli, they've been on my Husky Hotline show. Just amazing what Jenna Slepica has done for this team. 7 wins last year was a record. Now this year, 11 wins. Their first um, winning season in school history and their first time in District 6 playoffs. They're the number one seed. The fourth seed, State College, only 4-8, which is a surprise there.
Yeah.
So give me your thoughts on Mifflin County and State.
Well, it's amazing what Jen has done in just a couple of years. She
Yeah.
definitely laid a solid foundation for seasons to come for these for volleyball. It's great to see. Um, what can you say about Mifflin County? They are uh, very solid all the way across. You said about Dakota Hirschberger being one of the leaders on the team. Um, they play they play it the right way. It's a very team oriented, not single person oriented, which you always love to see as a coach too. State College, they've actually had a down year. Um, Chad Waite's teams are usually stronger than that. Uh, but sometimes you got to have a down year, to rebuild and regroup. But still, with him as a coach on the sidelines and his assistant Larry Campbell there, uh, you can't count them out. It doesn't matter what the record is; they're going to play you tough. And I think that State College may surprise some people.
Yeah. It's really cool though that the Huskies are going in as the number one seed, and that would
Mhm.
be really decent if they would win a district championship in just, I think it's Jenna's second or third year
Yeah,
to win a district championship when this team was notoriously bad. They were like, before she got there, they were like 27 wins and 181 losses.
wow.
Yeah, that was that's pretty not good, shall we say.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to soccer. Now we got soccer playoffs coming. Um, let's see. We'll start out with boys. Single A, I don't know if you've covered them, but Belleville Mennonite, since they're Mifflin County, I'm putting them in here. They are the 3rd seed, 8-5. Bald Eagle area is the 4th seed at 8-8.
Mhm.
And I won't even say Mount Union's record. They're the 10th seed, but
And
it's bad. Forest Hills is the top seed. So have you seen BMS at all and Bald Eagle?
Girls, right?
Boys.
Oh, boys. Okay. Um, Actually, I've seen Bald Eagle play. Uh, they're a team too that's hot and cold, like a Jekyll Hyde. They play tough, but they've lost a couple matches to teams they really should have lost to. So, but usually they play hard in the postseason. I look for Bald Eagle area to maybe win a game and maybe get close to winning a District 6 title, because I guess like a lot of times in the lower levels, there isn't really a big grid of teams to play, right?
Right.
So usually one game win will put you into a title game. I can see that with Coach Bear's team.
Okay. Double A. Penns Valley, number 1 seed, 12-4-1. PO is the 4th seed, 8-7-1 right now. Juniata is 6th at 9-8-1. The boys here. So Penns Valley, number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm. I haven't actually got a chance to see them this year. I know that usually every year they have a very solid program. This season seems to be another one. And
Have you seen PO or Juniata at all?
Juniata I have, and they're actually like last year they had a younger team, and this year they have a very young team. And oh man, I'm going from all these different sports. Coach um, is good when it comes to postseason. It last year they, I believe, won the District 6 title with a young team, and this year um, looking to do the same. So yeah, that is no stranger to playing in a championship game. So yeah, things look good for them.
Okay, in AAA, Bellefonte, the number 2 seed, they are 12-4-1. Hollidaysburg is the top seed. Have you seen the Red Raiders play?
Now, yeah, Bellefonte is a very physical but fast team. They can play whatever kind of tempo that the other team is trying to play against. They can get physical when they need to, and they can play finesse ball. Their power is their breakaway speed from their front guys. They also have a defensive back third that's really tough, which they very rarely give up good looks at the goal. So if there's a team that's really setting themselves up nicely for District 6 and beyond, it's definitely got to be Bellefonte. It'll probably come down to Bellefonte playing Hollidaysburg.
Okay, 4A, number 1 seed, State College, 12-0-4. Mifflin County's the 4th seed. I'm not going to embarrass them by giving their record out. So, but State College, tell me a little bit about the Little Lions.
Oh, well, State College has this tradition of excellence. I know that there for a while they had a string of consecutive District 6 championships. So with the pedigree alone, you've got to live up to the expectations of what it is to be a little line soccer player. So um, this year they're continuing uh, their run through the District Six. I look for good things from them, and I see them in a championship game as well.
Okay, let's move on to the girls. In single A, Bald Eagles third seed right now, 8-7-1. Bishop Guilfoyle is the top seed. Penns Valley is fourth. They are 7-10, and then seventh is St. Joseph's Catholic Academy. Anything about Bald Eagle and Penns Valley? Have you seen them?
Yeah. Bald Eagle is one of these teams that they have a strong goalie. They're very fast and gritty. Um, they're also a kind of a Jekyll Hyde team. Um, sometimes they don't win the games they're supposed to, and some win some that they weren't supposed to. So, but you're gearing up for the playoffs as well. Um, the Eagles can actually find themselves going deep into the playoffs, and maybe not a District 6 championship, but getting kind of close.
Okay, Double A. Both have losing records, but PO is the seventh seed, 8-9. Juniata is the eighth seed, 8-10. Bedford is your top seed in in 2A. Have you seen PO or Juniata?
I haven't seen PO, but Juniata is a very young team, I believe, this year. From when I saw them, they battle tough, but they're not as fast as some of the teams that they've played this season, and they have problems finishing sometimes, just like I have problems finishing that. But yeah, the kids always play tough for their coach at Juniata, and it's going to be fun to see where they end up at the end.
All right. And then in AAA, Bellefonte, number one seed, 12-3-1. Tell me about the Red Raiders.
The Red Raiders are really put things together this year. Last season, they didn't have quite the year they had this year. Things are working on all cylinders for them. They've got a tough goalie. They've got a strong defensive side. And here again, they can run with the best of them and get gritty at the same time when they need to be. They've run the gambit through a lot of tough schools this season, or this first year of the Laurel Highlands, and they've actually beat quite a few teams that are heading to the playoffs as well in that conference. So if anyone's prepared, it's the Red Raider girls soccer team.
All right. And then 4A, I'm going to give out all their records just to show you how bad 4A is. The number one seed is Altoona, 12-5. Then State College is the second seed, 2-14. And you're the second seed. Mifflin County's the third seed. There's only 3 teams in 4A. They're 2-15. That's not good.
No, it's almost like the 4A in football, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have Juniata 5-3, and then Bellefonte and Johnstown are 0-8.
Mm-hmm. Mifflin County, I've seen play. Their problem is finishing. They finding that person out front to put the goals away. I believe they have a freshman goalie that's been pretty tough even though that the record may not look like it, but Liberty Cook has been a good find for them. It's just the defense hasn't been up to the level it has been in previous years, and but when you lose a player like Strohacker,
Yeah,
you,
pretty
you
good.
revamp everything and retool everything, and you can't just do that in 1 year. So uh, it may not be their season this year, but maybe in the future they could find that person to put the final touches on a goal. That they'll be okay.
All right, so that does the preview, a little playoff preview of volleyball and soccer, boys and girls soccer, and we also we'll talk about that a little more with cross country coming up on the 28th, the District 6 Championships. Juniata always does good, always does well with under Jeff Miller, and they have Wyatt Straub and Olivia Brubaker on the girls' side, which should be good. Mifflin County a little bit young, but State College always dominates AAA.
Oh, yeah.
But so any shout outs, buddy?
Yeah, I actually got a few here.
All right, we got Feeding the Ducks, Kenny Varner, and his shout outs. Give it to me, buddy.
Okay. The first one is State College hockey player Grayson Zenobel. He will playing for the Hershey Bears Quebec International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament team. He'll play from February 7th to the 18th as a member. So congratulations on a great honor.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I have a very special shout out to two young men that really deserve some accolades. Jacob Krotzer and Jarrett Kondo. They have signed to continue their career, sports career, into the next level. Signing up for military service in the Army, and I believe both in the Army.
Okay.
So congratulations, and thank you for making that sacrifice of serving our country.
Absolutely.
I wanted to say, well, actually, we talked about him. Jasper Sheps, his 89-yard fake punt was absolutely amazing, and he is having an awesome year. He actually picked up an interception last Friday, as well as running for a touchdown and catching. He went for, I believe, 55 yards receiving. So quite the job. So, and I did want to give a shout out and a big thank you to the Penn State football team. On Sunday, they were preparing for their for their game against Ohio State, but they took the time out to allow the Burnham Bulldog special football team to go and visit the Lash building and watch them practice, and even get some interview, or not some interviews. That's what I do. Some signatures, autographs afterwards. So thank you from all of us here at the from Burnham Bulldogs. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else?
Nope. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, I got one. The Super 32 in Greensboro, North Carolina starts this weekend. It is basically like the preseason kickoff of high school wrestling. Top guys in the country are going to be there. And to show you how good Pennsylvania is in the varsity, the high school tournament, we have 5 kids that are seeded number 1. And in the middle school version of the tournament, there's 6 kids that are seeded number 1.
Wow.
So, yeah, Pennsylvania studs. We got some guys like Griffin Walliser of Central Mountain will be there. I think Dalton Perry's there, Central Mountain. Asher Cunningham and Nick Pavlechko of State College are there. I wish some Mifflin County kids would be there, but I don't think they are. But Super 32, every wrestling fan gets excited. It's basically the kickoff to the season because before you know it, college wrestling starts next month.
Wow.
And then high school will be in the beginning of December. And so that's cool. What do you got coming up, Kenny, the rest of the week? You said you were taking off Friday from football, but you got anything tomorrow?
Yeah, I have a Bellefonte girls soccer game actually I'm covering. So should be fun.
All right. And I have the Husky Hotline tomorrow night at Vince's Pizza here in Lewistown, Big Louie 92.9 and AM 670 and streaming it on biglouie.com. I'll have Gary Barger, wrestling official. It's about that time. We're going to talk about rule changes, Super 32, just general high school wrestling stuff and some football. So that's going to be at the Husky Hotline. If you're live in the area or you're on the net and want to listen, give it a shout out. I appreciate it if you take a listen. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to then be lazy on the weekend and watch my Rams hopefully beat the Steelers.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys are going to have another loss.
Well, we have both of our our first and second string running backs are both out. We actually had to sign some people today. Our starting running back's going to be Zach Evans, a rookie from Mississippi. We'll see. I still think we have enough to beat that lame Steeler team.
Well, for some reason they've played so bad, but they have such a good record.
I have no idea why.
Yeah, beats me because their quarterback has not been. He's been having a sophomore slump.
Right, he has. But it should be an interesting game. It's out in L.A., so that's one advantage. But Pittsburgh travels well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Steelers fans at SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, speaking of that, did you see the Cowboys Charger game the other night where it seemed like Dallas had a home game with the crowd?
I know. That's LA fans for you. That it ticks me off when the 49ers come in. Because, they're California too, but there's more 49er fans than Ram fans in our own stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, pisses me off. Even after as successful as they've been to 2 Super Bowls under McVay and won 1, and they still have the 49ers bring a bigger crowd.
Oh, that's crazy.
We have to do a silent count at home when the 49ers are there.
Wow. That is something.
And I'll tell you, the way the Steelers travel, they might have more fans than ours there.
Oh, jeez.
It's embarrassing. Frickin' LA, all they care about is beach volleyball and hoops.
Well, isn't that the thing where they go to the events late and leave early?
Yeah. Yeah. They're screwed up. But it should be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, buddy, before we wrap this up?
Nope. Just here again, the season's winding quick, so get out there and see your favorite athlete.
Absolutely. Playoffs are coming. Mm-hmm. All right. That's going to do it for us tonight. We ran over again. We might as well just never have an hour plan because we always go over.
Yeah. That's starting to, it goes by so quick.
I know. So that's going to wrap it up for this week. Tune in again next week for Kenny Varner. I'm Brian Carson. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. And I said West. Did you hear that? Have a great rest of your week and an even better weekend. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.